You weren't too happy about the noises coming out of this summit or the fact that it took place, were you, my friend?
What is terribly important at the moment is not to send any message to the EU that implies that Britain doesn't like Brexit or its resolve over Brexit is weakening.
The democratic argument for Brexit died in 2019 when both the DUP, a major part of 52%, and the Brexit Party, a major part of 52%, said that this would not be the will of the people if we left the EU on Boris Johnson's terms. So Brexit, as a democratic process, died then. What we're seeing right now is an attempt to realise, OK, we've made everybody poorer. We're going through the sharpest fall in living standards on record, and we're being made £100 billion poor by something that essentially the people didn't really ask for, because when they voted for Brexit in 2016, every single person, including John Redwood, said it would make us better off financially, and now we're worse off.
There's a lot of truth in that. Actually, the vision that Boris Johnson's government has put forward is not necessarily the same vision that everybody voted for at the referendum, and that's because it was very sort of loosely defined, as Femi says. But none of that should overwhelm the fact that there was a lack of content, not just with the European Union, but actually fundamentally with Westminster and Westminster politics in this country. It's not just about the European Union. And this is the thing. You put something like Brexit into the hands of the Conservative Party, what do you expect is going to happen? More of the same. The political revolution in the country that Brexit was supposed to herald, it never really happened.
This is where you and I fundamentally agree, and where you're one of the very few people on the Brexit and Conservative side of things that I truly, genuinely respect, because you recognise that Brexit was about this serious discontentment across the country with the status quo, with the way the system worked, the millions of people in the north in Wales who were left behind by a political establishment but never seemed to care. But we are where we are now, and we have something that people did not want. People want...
But they did want it, with respect. The British public still, to this day, Femi, like it or not, a majority of people do not want to rejoin. They absolutely don't want to join the EU.
The consistent polling for the past, I think, 3 years says that most people think Brexit is a mistake. As for rejoining the EU, yes, that does tend to go up and down over the 52%. But rejoining the single market, undoing the economic damage for the people that are struggling to heat their homes, pay their bills, feed their kids, most people want to do that. This is what happens when you hand the country to people like Boris Johnson. As for
we handed it to Boris Johnson. He got a majority.
Let's define we. The 44% voted for the Tories. 52% voted for parties that were committed to a second referendum. But the main issue here is they talk about how they're going to try and fix Brexit, get a Brexit that will actually work for the British people. The point is, in 2018, the government's experts calculated that no matter what Brexit they negotiated, it would make the people of the UK poorer, which means no matter what they try and figure out, it will be bad. And the thing is, John Redwood specifically, the last time I was on air with him, he actually ran away from the interview because I pointed out that if you know that no matter what you do with Brexit, it's going to make people poor, by pursuing Brexit, you are deliberately making people poor.